Hello, my name is Fabian Lawson. I currently live in Woodridge, Illinois. I've been living here for 2 years. I was recently working for Valley View School District for 4 years and was affected by the pandemic. During that time, I pretty much told ex that I had been dating for 2 years or maybe like a year that I didn't want to be with him anymore, in relations with him anymore. He didn't take that very kindly. He became very emotionally and mentally disturbed with me, became abusive, a lot of stress in my apartment. So I took it upon myself to go and talk to his mom, ask his mom to come and get him out of my home. That did not work. She actually gave me the idea to call the police on him. So when he did it again, that's exactly what I did. Um, he became physically abusive. He pushed me in the walls, touched me inappropriately when I didn't ask him or didn't want him to. Every time I said no, he continued to do it and put me in corners and, just trying to touch me or just being emotionally and mentally abusive, just purposefully. Every morning he would wake up with the intentions to do that after I told him I didn't want to be in relations with him anymore. He claimed he didn't have a place to stay, even though his parents lived literally 10 minutes down the road in Bolingbrook, that he didn't have anywhere to go, that he couldn't live without me. Like it became very stressful. Like he couldn't, decide what to do or what where to go or what his life was without me. And that became very stressful for me. Um, he at one point was trying to take my keys to leave my house, and I stood in front of the door. He ran into my face twice, um, displacing one of my teeth out of my mouth. After that, I think I called the police several times, and then like the nighttime, one of the officers spoke with him. He literally came back into my house that night and told my son, "I hope you have a good life, CJ, because you'll never see your mother again." I called the police immediately because I thought he was threatening my life. In actuality, he even continued to say that you will work in warehouses and factories like everyone else. So I'm not sure if that's what the Midwest or Illinois expect for minorities to do or people of color, that they're not educated enough or don't have enough money to pursue higher levels of education. And I see since the 1900s, me studying the education of history, right? Now, that has been very prevalent in the idea of how um, the people in this part of the United States think. But where I'm from, education is very we take it, I guess, a little bit more serious because we don't have a lot of trade and transport warehouses and factories in the South that, you can just go and get a job, in a matter of an hour, in a matter of a day. But you have to be very careful when walking into these warehouses and factories because they have been pretty much um, taken over by one specific culture who can be very diminishing to you if you are not of their culture, of their ethnicity. They obviously don't want to see you work there, don't want to see you there at all, or even learning the skills or knowing that you have the level of education that you have. That's intimidating for them, and they see it as a threat. I'm not sure, if it's because of them being undocumented or whatever the situation may be. They feel like, you may be a threat to their lives. That's what, my presumption has been since I've just had time to think about it. But with that being said, after my ex threatened me, the next day, he literally spoke with this police that morning. He doesn't know a lot about the Constitution, amendments, civil rights, or any of that because he's undocumented. He's only been here for 6 years. But whatever he said to her gave him the audacity to come in and threaten my son to his face and tell my son, I hope you have a good life, CJ, because you'll never see your mother. Well, I hope you had a good life, CJ, because you'll never see your mother again. So in actuality, that was telling me that I was obviously trying to provide him with the best life that I possibly could at this time. Um, Me like working on my master's education because I've been like performing the job for 4 years, but obviously I need the certification in order to get the income and the benefits that actually will give me the stability that I need in order to even live in Illinois and not be considered, under the poverty rate. And since I was performing the job and I, loved it and that's what I was doing, I was making necessary um, supplemental ways of like getting income when I needed it, when I didn't have the double pay that my job offered and stuff like that. So I've had no problems with working in warehouses and factories. It's just a problem of going to them. And then they are, like I said, dominated by one culture. And then that culture will target you if they feel that, you are a threat to them. And what way um, do I come off as being a threat? I have no idea. But they obviously sees it as a threat. If you're educated, if you're not of their culture, if maybe they think you don't understand, whatever. I don't know. Um, but with that being said, the next day after I got these threats and my ex was quote unquote arrested, but let go, not charged, and not, it wasn't for him to get charged or anything. I just wanted him to leave my home and go to his parents' house, and be raised up because obviously he wasn't ready to take on main responsibilities, and he was just giving me more, responsibilities that as a woman I don't need. I'm trying to take care of a household. I'm trying to raise my son. I'm trying to get my master's in education and continue to work the job and towards the job and the career that I made a choice to do. So that's all that I was, trying to get out of that situation. But instead, um, after her walking into my apartment, seeing that everything in here at that time was literally for my son, she called CPS on me. So why would you call CPS on another woman who you see is trying to do the best that she can in order to take care of her son? So not at one point was my child neglected or put in any danger, very well fed, kept, um, goes, and plays and, haven't missed a meal, never been bruised or hurt or harmed, other than playing at the park or scraping himself when he's at the pool because he likes to run around or something like that. But just like physically, the harm of my son, never. Um, or him being neglected or put in any kind of danger, no. And when my ex chose to do those things in front of him, those are times that I called the police even faster than I called when my son wasn't here, when he was with his biological father. And, I would deal with it, for hours and hours before I just like exploded, like got really loud, like, please stop touching me. I said no. Like, do you not understand? Get the fuck away from me. Like, do you not understand what no? Like, his first language is Spanish. He's undocumented, but in Spanish, and like I've learned a little bit in high school and learned a little bit working in the school district because it's a very diverse community. So you work with a lot of kids who are bilingual because in these co-taught classrooms, there's, pushing them towards the English language. So a lot of it they don't understand, they don't comprehend. So a lot of extra meetings and a lot of specific curriculum plans are made for these kids, and these teachers have to go out and have a lot of meetings. So I'm in these classes a lot. So that also helped me like pick up a little bit on the language. And then I actually just got into it where I kind of started to learn it because I'm just like, okay, well, this is my ex well at that time my boyfriend's language, and I work for a school district who has 1/3 of the population of Hispanic kids. So why not, advance myself in that area in order to be able to communicate and, fluently have conversations with them, or just be able to have that connectivity, where we can trade off information. So that was my intentions. But like I said, no means no. And what that's my point in Spanish and English. If I don't want you in my space or near me or close to me, out of our respect, that's what you should give me, and that's what I will give any person, and that's what I expect a person to give me. And this is Illinois. At the type of lifestyle that people have, they're very family oriented. They're not going outside their family too fast, too quick. They're not, quick to speak to people or reach out to people like you have. Maybe a small few, but most, I guess would have been like, high crime and all the stuff that, took off in 4 or 5 years ago and stuff like that. People are just very, just not trusting and just like, have their guard up at all times. Very well understood. So, for a person to just like not understand that, that was hard for me. And then touch me inappropriately and then get physical, whatever, when I'm asking you, touch me inappropriately when I'm asking you not to. That was like, you don't understand the word no, like no means no. So, like I said, when he did it in front of my son, I would call the police even faster because it's like, why would I want a man showing my son ways to disrespect me, ways to think that it's okay to behave like this to a woman or to your mother or to any woman. It's not okay. So, that's just a behavior or type of characteristic I didn't want him to have. So I was trying my best to get him out of my home. Went through several police. They came, never once, saying that, anything was wrong concerning my son or anything. I remember one time he was literally just standing in my door, like crying, bothering me, and I was trying to put my son to sleep. And then he came over and said something about daddy parts coming to meet in mommy parts, and it was just like out of things that you should just have conversations around kids around. It's just like, why would you even like have these conversations? Why are you trying to trigger me or target me or make me upset to say such disrespectful things in front of my son? Like, you know you can't wait until I put him to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna sit here and like stop me from getting my child structured in my home the way I feel like his structure should be. You're not going to support that. You're actually going to make it harder for me to be able to get those things in order. Because I don't know if you were, jealous of me, like trying to educate my son or teach him or spend the time that I was spending with him. But that's what it became a lot of, like, just a lot of just like, I don't, I don't have enough time, but I don't want any of your time because I'm sitting here telling you I don't want to have relationships. I don't even want you to be here, but you say you don't have to say and you don't want all that. So it's just like, okay, well, be here and be space. And like, I'm not going to cause you any issues. Don't cause me any issues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to go about my day and get certain things done and be productive. Like, don't be a person to interrupt that or distract that or stop me from trying to accomplish my goal. And want to touch me or distract me or just mentally and emotionally just keep disturbing me or distracting me to throw me off or touch me. It's just like, why are you doing this? So obviously I got fed up with it. Anyway, when CPS showed up to my door that day after he threatened me, he literally followed me downstairs. I already knew my name. Already, it's almost like he already had intentions to do he already knew what he wanted to do. So I videotaped the situation because I called the police because, again, my civil rights. You're not. If I tell you I don't want to talk to you, you need to come back to me with a court order. You don't keep following me down the stairs, hollering my name, trying to speak with me, and I haven't did anything wrong and I don't want to talk to you. So why are you here? You know what I'm saying? I um still opened the door and had conversation, answer all his questions. He asked me all the questions that I guess CPS are supposed to ask concerning a child and the whereabouts to make sure they're not harmed. And all of my questions was as normal as any other parent. Does he go to school? Does he get his shots? Does he have a father or somewhere? Blah blah. Just all these different things. But it was almost like he was looking for a reason to tell me, oh, well, this is, and I'm going to take him with me, but that didn't go. The police ended up lying and saying something about Miguel saying I was going to shoot him. I've never owned a gun in my life, never had one, no need to have one. I don't put myself in situations where feel the need to be carrying one, like if somebody want to rob me or take advantage of me or whatever, they'll be robbing or taking advantage of nothing. They'll be wasting their time. So it's like I don't put myself in those type of situations where I feel the need, to, what I'm saying, or put myself in danger where I feel that I need to protect myself with a weapon, or just want to harm or hurt anyone with the weapon anyway. Like that's just not my mentality. So that was her, and I have video of it, of her talking about it and stating that, and that, basically they would be out of my life if I went out of order of protection. I filed order of protection, was denied 6 times. The CPS worker took, out of his job to go to the courthouse to see, what was, I guess, my behavior or whatever when I was filing the order of protections, and used that against me, had several sheriffs to testify against me as if I had neglected my child because I let him ride an escalator while I was filling out papers. My child was not harming, touching, hurting anyone. Don't speak or anything. So it's just like, why would you? And, they made up all kind of crazy excuses. Oh, it's all kind of criminal, blah blah, walking through blah, blah, all this, stuff like that. Like someone's just gonna, And so I understand like this is Illinois. You have a lot of like, what do you? I mean, in any of the states, you have people who are like doing certain things or whatever like that. But at that time, I was in a very stressful state. Obviously, I didn't want CPS in my life, so I was doing everything that they were asking me to do that was necessary to get him out of my home and to make sure that they didn't, indicate me. Because at this point, I'm working on my master's in education, obviously. Once I'm certified and I start to, apply to different districts or school districts, even now, if I was to apply to a district outside of my school district that I work for now, and they was to run my background check, obviously there would be some issues for me getting a job because to them it looks like I am neglectful towards children. I am, harmful to children. Even though just now I've been working for a school district, and even though I'm not currently working in the district as a guest teacher, I'm coaching one of the high school kids in track and field for throwing because throwing is what I got a scholarship in order to get my biological degree. So, if not anything, that's something that I can give back, with the states of giving someone other options besides, just your, skill work or vocational work, give them options outside of that. If, it opens the door in the next 4 years, he's a freshman, to get a full scholarship to a college where he could major in something, that actually requires a certification like doctors, lawyers, engineers, nurses, these things still do require you to be certified um, and have so many credits of classes in order to be able to work in these fields. So without, having the income to be able to pay it, a lot of people back off the idea of even thinking to go into these careers. So that's just, my thing. If it's an option or opportunity and it's something that I can, open a door and show you, is capable and give you a option outside of that, then I'm definitely down for that. So that's basically what I've been doing. So for me to like, trying to neglect a child or harm a child or think to hurt a child in any manner is not um, my mentality. Like I worked around kids doing summer camps and all types of stuff voluntarily when I was younger, just on purpose, just to get out the house and be a supportive of some of the future children that were coming up out of preschool and stuff like that when I was in middle school and high school. Just summer camp teacher and stuff, doing stuff, different things like that. Never thinking that I would be actually teaching, but my former mother-in-law works for the school district as a teacher aide for years and have been kind of pushing the issue or talking to us about the opportunities, not issue, the opportunity of guest teaching because we had our bachelor's degree, both me and my ex-husband. And so I pursued it, pretty much fell in love with it, and had a teacher to walk into my classroom and pretty much say, "Are you certified?" And I'm like, "No." She was like, "You should be." Because I guess she was very proud, and she was actually the person who was over the department for math at that middle school. And so basically, she was just telling me that what I was doing in the classroom was what they look for in teachers. So she was like, why not get your master's in education if you've already been doing the job for a couple of years now? And so I started to pursue that. Obviously, it's challenging because obviously, challenging for anybody that don't have the financial income or whatever to be able to afford it. So I pretty much looked at some of the schools that were on the cheaper end and found schools that were accreditable to my school district that was accepted, and chose one of them, Trinity, Xavier. Um, it's one more, I think Benedictine. A lot of the bigger schools take it too, and National Rules is the one that I'm going to. But specifically, I saw a lot of teachers getting their masters from this particular school um, as I was like teaching in the school district, and come to find out it was because it was the one that was accreditable for the school district, like the school district would actually accept the classes and accreditations and qualifications that this school offers, or pushes the classes that they push us to take, is what our school district wants us to have up under our belt in order to be certified in their district, and at the same time on the cheaper side of college or universities that's out there. Not trying to go to like the big major college or university. I actually had the opportunity to do that, coming out of Mississippi and competing in the SEC at Mississippi State University for track and field. I actually had the opportunity to do that. But, long term, you kind of realize that, you really want to just go towards the most cheapest route, and the one that's more credible towards your field and towards your major, especially if it's not giving you a full scholarship in order to go to the school, because there's a lot of universities and colleges out here just for that. But anyway, like I was saying, this indication obviously stops me from being able to even apply for, even if I try to apply for the job, obviously it's going to come up in my interview, and conversations can be used against me in order for me not to get hired, because, they're saying like, I don't care what you say, but this is what's in the registration for CPS, and it says that this is how you are towards kids. So we can't hire you. And that's pretty much what I feel like that's what I would hear if I was to do that. So I appealed it. I sent hundreds of emails to the judge and the state attorney that was representing the case. When I went through the hearing, not at one time could I use any of my evidence. Like, I'm not, I guess I don't have a degree in political science or law. I'm not well educated in it. But it was just like every time I tried to find foundations and tried to present, any of the evidence, the lawyer literally said one word, and then the judge would grant it, and then they'll override it and say, oh, well, I can't use the evidence, whether it was pictures, whether it was videos, whether it was just me showing the order of protections that I was doing. Every has, they have that I sent hundreds of emails of evidence, but not one time was I able to use it. Told me it couldn't be recorded. I don't know if they didn't want to see they didn't want people to hear how the system takes advantage of people like me, minorities, people that can't afford a lawyer or don't, know exactly what to do when they're in these situations. You don't know what to do until you're actually in the situation. It's not like people just go out and just think about researching, stuff like this, or educating and stuff like this, because these are situations people don't want to be involved in and don't want to be a part of. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Why would I even do something to my son to be in a situation where I'm going to harm both me and him from pur- pursuing my future career and being able to take care of myself and him the way, I plan to do? So it's just like, why would I do that? So anyway, I just got papers back about 3 days ago, saying that I was denied, saying that I have to go back to the circuit court and um, re-appeal in order for it to be reevaluated by the circuit court. So that's what I'm going to do today. Today at 1:30, I have a hearing because on December 15th, I walked out of my house and I was attacked. I called the police and the police ended up charging me, took my phone, deleted the video, arrested me, and wrote up a report that pretty much made it seem like what I said on the phone to the dispatcher that happened to me. They said that I did it to this person, but this person lived up under me for 3 months after that, and her boyfriend. So if at any point you felt like I was in danger or harm, if I was going to hurt you, if I had anything, you know what I'm saying, why would you continue to live? I'm the person who got out of jail and called my leasing office and said that, is there any kind of way that I can move? Is there any kind of way you can move me to a different apartment? Which she denied. Okay, I can't afford to really leave out this situation, so where am I going to go? I'm going to sit right here and take out my, retirement and furnish my place because obviously that was an issue. You know, my house didn't look like a home. But I was waiting because I was trying to handle all my bills by myself with unemployment, and I'm used to making $1,000 a month, $4,500 a month, $1,000 a month, $200 a day. So if you're affected by unemployment, it's not a big of a difference. Actually, it's less, even with the extra $400. And then when it dropped last August, it made it even worse for me to try to maintain just stability, just manage my livelihood, let alone try to, furnish the place or whatever. So that's what I did. I don't know, like I should have just kept it empty and just gave all of my money to some lawyer to be able to represent me. And then again, I would have been in a situation where I'm in an empty house, and the only thing that is here is the stuff that I got for my son, which was right before the pandemic stopped, and I had the extra money to be able to do that. But like I said, he told me I was going to work in warehouses and factories like everyone else, which I don't plan. I use it as supplement income um, a lot of the times to help pay for my son's child care when we don't have double pay when we first start off in August, just to meet necessities. I'm not really a really wanty person and just need a whole lot of stuff outside of your basics needs. So just, necessities. Pretty much that's what I did um, was try, to just put some things inside of the house and get a computer so I can continue to work on my master's in education. So I was attacked. So today I'm going to court about the situation. They pretty much labeled me as what they call unfit. So I, just been watching um, but if YouTube, Facebook, just different scenes on television, involving crime and different things. And it almost seemed that if you're innocent, um, and you have evidence that you're innocent, it's almost like they would rather wait for you, especially if you have a lawyer to represent you. The public defender will put you in situations where you're being psychologically evaluated and try to deem you as unfit or categorize you as not able to stand your trial. Even though if you were guilty and they had plenty of evidence against you and you actually are crazy, they won't even do these things. They'll just say, oh, you're fit to stand your trial, therefore we can, you know, give you a sentence and you gone about your business. But I feel like because I am innocent, and if anybody was to watch the entire video and sit in a jury trial and see even even in the way that I reacted after 3 bald spots was pulled out of my hair, literally my hair was ripped out of my head. Even after they saw the way I reacted, I don't feel that they would see me as being guilty. Okay. After you've been attacked, sexually assaulted, as we call rape or shot or beat up by a person, how do you expect me to act? How do you expect me to react? And coming from different cultures, I guess different cultures react in different ways. And for me, it's very more loud and defensive because at that point I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm upset. Like you put your hands on me, you touch me, and that's something that I just like. I don't do like just go and put my hands on a person for no damn reason. No, for what? For no reason. No, for what? So why would I do that? But even in that sense, I would think that a jury probably would see me as being innocent. And that's why the public defender has pushed me to not only one but two psychological evaluations. And the second time I am deemed as unfit. I got an email yesterday saying that, and that basically what the alternative is that I have to go into another interview because I was deemed as unfit, even though the same questions was asked of me in March that was asked of me on the 26th of this past month. Um, the same questions, and then asked them in different ways. Been doing the same role, other than meeting a few single guys who've approached me. Who, I'm not really dating or don't want to date, so I feel like a lot of them kind of like backed off. But outside of just working on my master's, when I have the mental to do it, because my mind is just like really cluttered with this situation and just not being able to like be with my son is like really hurtful and painful. That it's just a pain I just never thought I would feel. But obviously, if you carry a child around for 9 months and you deliver them and you literally make that child your life for 2.5 years by staying at home, then there's the attachment there, or a part of your heart that person has that's hard for anyone to fulfill. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now with that and my son. But at the same time, I am going to go and do my best to just represent myself this week on account of opening up a new appeal in order to be able to hopefully show the evidence that I have this time to render my name and be able to get more time with my son. And I have to go to court today. She already emailed me and told me that I was unfit and that the decision of being unfit is having to speak with another. Um, I'm trying to find the email. That's what I'm going to slow down. Having to speak with another psychologist. But I'm not sure if it's going to be the same psychologist. But like I said she didn't even know why she needed to see me again, or why I was coming back. But at the same time, you're the same person who, quote unquote, asked me these questions or had this meeting with me last time, and I gave you similar answers. A lot hasn't changed. I've just been getting my master's coaching, going to the gym, um, during my time of being at home, and you deem me as unfit, and you pretty much tell me if I don't do what the judge tells me to do, then you have the right to take me into custody. So, almost anything and everything but to actually talk about my evidence, but to actually talk about my defense, but to actually set the actual jury trial for the situation. And when I say like my pictures, hair ripped out of my head, videos of this officer coming over, arresting me, finding my phone, deleting the video. I recovered the video like a week later. I actually made my first content on TikTok for the first time. I don't think I even had a Facebook page at that time. Never really got into social media as a child. In high school, I just thought it was really messy, a lot of drama. And that's just something I didn't want to be a part of, like guys and girls fighting over guys and girls, and it was messy, and I didn't want to be a part of it, and all my family was right there with me, so I had no reason to like have Facebook to be in contact with long lost relatives, or relatives that were distant and stuff like that. All my media family was right there in Mississippi, so what was the reason to really just have it, other than someone's following you and just causing a lot of drama or just being nosy or whatever. But I actually started one because I started a GoFundMe, or started a GoFundMe. They asked you to have a Facebook because I thought that, these lawyers were like, oh, $6,000, oh this, oh that. So I'm like, okay, like, this is crazy. And this stuff is sitting on my name, obviously. is going to hinder me from, pursuing or actually getting a position in the career field that I chose. So why not, try to get some help or some assistance or whatever. So that was my first time actually starting Facebook. And then as far as TikTok, the students at school actually introduced me to in middle school, and I downloaded it just to watch content, just to watch other people's content. Um, just bored at home. The pandemic had started. They didn't have any work for us. And so the kids had just recently told me about it. Was telling me, oh, you supposed to do a dance with us on TikTok. And so once I downloaded and I saw what it was about, I just started watching it just in my spare time. But my first time ever making content was the day that I was released from jail, showing me in front of the police station by the library, calling the emergency in order to be checked because when I was put into the police car, it was act as if the ambulance wanted to care for me, but not really wanted to care for me. And it makes sense. Like I want to act like I'm doing my job, but actually I'm not doing my job to the best of what my job should be. It's not you're not like I'm saying pull the hair out of my head. If you literally start pulling at my hair, more hair will start coming out. So that's me in the video, literally pulling hair out of my head that this woman had ripped out of my head. Um, and me going into the ambulance because at that point my neck and my shoulder was very like bruised or strained or whatever you want to call it. Once I went to after I had went to three doctors, I found I had a pinched nerve. I went to the same or got sent through the ambulance to the same hospital as the person that had attacked me. So I was one treated very well there. Then I made an appointment to get an MRI at a clinic that had asked me to be their patient once I moved here. So I changed it to my PCP, just in case I had any sicknesses or anything. Obviously to have a primary care physician on your medical card. And it just makes it easier for them to be able to use the insurance and stuff like that. So I'm saying, why not would I have one that's local? So I switched it almost 2 years ago when I first moved over here. Never, going to her, I think, other than like a checkup. And I don't even think if I went to that for her because I remember going to Adventist to get my blood ran and all of that after I got kind of like what do you call it? I don't want to say it was COVID, but I got under the weather call for just very sick. Right. I was still working in the school district, but I took off some days. I would never show up to the school like that. And then I didn't have a car at the time because I had totaled my car trying to take my ex to work. And I believe one of my coworkers actually, like maybe 2 weeks later, just took me to the hospital and just got my blood, just a natural checkup, just to make sure everything was good. I remember because my son and his father came and met me and took me back home that day. So that was last year. So I didn't think there was any need for me to go and get a checkup or anything of that sort last year because I had already got it due to me being under the weather. And the way insurance works is a wellness is a wellness, and once they run the insurance for it, then you can't go to another doctor and go get the same thing because the insurance only does it yearly. So every 6 months, every year, they offer enough money to pay the doctor or physician or whatever in order to give you this physical rare blood, pap smear, whatever a woman needs in order to make sure the body is just in order. So I went over there that same day to ask for MRI. They asked me to fill out paperwork and blah, blah, blah. Set me an appointment for 2 and come back. They started telling me, no, you can't. We can't have you here. Next thing I know, the same police officer that was on the scene when I got arrested, he never touched me. He was talking to the other people. Um, was telling me that I needed to go home. That I'm not being restrained, but I need to go home. So I literally walked back to my house. My mom told me to just go to a hospital outside of where I live. And so I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to the one where I used to live, which is not that far away, the school district I work in. And so they ran the MRI for me and told me I had a pensioner and they gave me medicine for it and told me that I needed, some type of therapy or whatever. Actually, this place over here, because I wanted to get contrast, because I wanted to see where the pain was, and they kept denying that. So um, I actually had to like contact my insurance and all this stuff, and they just kept denying it. The clinic that I went to, but they ended up offering me physical therapy. So I went through about 4 weeks of physical therapy and realized that in order to strengthen this muscle back, it's just doing normal exercises and working out and constantly moving. And these are things that I already do. So okay, I said, okay, well, eventually it's going to heal, but at the same time, like that is proof that I was attacked. That is proof that you literally had my head pulling my hair out of my head. You get what I'm saying? And I'm, defending myself, trying to pull your fingers out of my head. Like, bitch, get your hands out of my head. Get your motherfucking hands out of my head. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying here. And and then like I called the police and told her what happened. And then she called the police after she saw that. Um, had called the police, and then um the police arrived and pretty much um, kind of just took one side of the situation. Um, ran over, arrested me for talking loud. Never ran me my rights, but when I started to scream after the handcuffs were removed, what am I being arrested for? What am I being arrested for? And then they started to say disorderly conduct. They were lying on the video. You can hear them talking on the video saying I was resisting arrest and I was literally in front of the car. Like literally chest on a car like this. And at one point, how I was just in the race when there's two cops, there's one sergeant, and then the other cop is literally over 300 something pounds. So at one point, you know what I'm saying? And like, no, you can arrest me. That's what you said you were going to do. For what? I didn't do anything, but okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to resist arrest because I'm not stupid enough that that's obviously another charge that you can put on there. Or fleeing from an arrest, that's another charge. So when I'm sitting inside of the police station, that's what the sergeant said. You better not run. It's almost like they're trying to put something in your mind for you to do and make you react in the way that they want you to react by sitting certain issues or placing certain things in your environment. So that was really like weird for me. But like I said, they pretty much told me I have to go and do another interview. I think I actually put it on my Facebook page too. So I'm gonna go there because she just sent this to me yesterday. My Facebook page, it has issues. Like when I like to go on TikTok Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or stuff like that. It's like they have issues. I know there's like too much memory storage, um, but it's like just having problems. And so I did. I reached out to the mayor just about a day ago. I'm going to go to the meeting at Village Hall um, July 3rd to see can I get questions asked concerning the situation. What do you do in the case where you can't afford a lawyer and you've been wrongfully arrested, or you feel like CPS is preying on you? Because it's like I've been shown, it's like they won't go into the houses where they actually need to go into, where the kids are actually being affected by real issues because they're scared of the environments. But they'll actually prey on single women or women of minority because they don't feel like there's any danger. Or that person is not going to react in a way of going into some of those more, I guess, dangerous areas where they feel like those people may react to them or to their family, which is a sad situation because in the administration hearing, that is exactly how CPS or how he presented me as if I was a threat to him, as if I was going to go and find him and go to his house and hurt or harm him or do something. I had to call the police. like he was scared and his language started to break up. Like I said, he's a Spanish. So of course, you can go back into your cultural language and do like chopped English. It was just really sad, like how the system literally takes advantage of people in a situation and the lies and stuff that they come up with on the paper. It's like literally you can just put black writing on white paper, and as long as you use the correct wording, you can literally label as someone as something they're not. And that's why I'm kind of like glad that I did record it, because at that point, what is it? It's just you saying that happened, and I have nothing showing or showing your face or showing you talking or showing your reactions of what really happened. So you can state all of this, and if I don't have anything, then it's just my word against yours. And since you have that certification and you're in that power, you have that authority, then you get to abuse or take advantage of people like me. So this is the email that I was sent yesterday. It literally says, I am in receipt of your update fitness evaluation. The last time my fitness evaluation came back in the matter of a week. Name is unfit. This was yesterday, right before um, my hearing today. Based on this evaluation, you're found to be unfit, but needing outpatient services. What that means is that you will have to do another interview. So outpatient services means I have to do another interview with another psychologist. So after 31 years of my life, a person can come in and just because they don't want to present the evidence that's actually out there that will show me as being innocent, can come into my life and send me to a psychologist and deem me as being literally unfit or not able to stand trial. So I was able to get through elementary school and move 10 times and graduate um, top of my class. I was able to go to middle school and play sports and graduate with no problem. I was able to go to high school and eventually take all AP classes, play 3 sports, work at Wendy's all 4 years and help my mom after my father passed away. And she wasn't getting the income that she was getting because he was in the army and he, you know, got a dependency check for me, all that from my dad. And she wasn't getting that income and stuff anymore. And so I was able to do all those things. I was able to work over the summer before I went to college and save up my money and go to college without the help of my parents or family. Build up a full scholarship from 20% to a full ride. Taking out the necessary student loans, filling out the paperwork, going to class, going to workouts, going traveling around to every SEC school in the Southeastern Conference, competing, hold the hammer throw record for Mississippi State University, All American SEC Championship, hold the indoor weight throw for Mississippi State University. Right now, no one has broken the record. They just broke the discus record just this past year, one of the girls, and I didn't even hold a discus record, but I do discus shot put and hammer, and was centimeters off making the Olympic trials in 2012. To get married, to literally stop the career that I was going towards, to be married to a man who actually just didn't want me to have a career, just saw me as a woman that's supposed to have kids and sit at home. So I guess it's just the northern mentality or northern way of life. Um, Majority, not all. I have, see some women that are in obviously working, and different things like that. But I feel like this is like the most honorable path where you should be so proud, to be in a stay-at-home mom position and blah, blah, blah. But coming out of high school, going into college never was my mindset to be totally dependent on men. Never in my life have I thought that way. And I don't think I'll ever think that way or want to live that way. So with that being said, like I'm sane and fit enough to do all those things and fit enough to, be a quote unquote stay-at-home mom and work for a school district for 4 years. Until this past 2020, I've been working for Valley School District since 2016. Um, and at this point now, because there is evidence that points in a direction that is not incriminating to me, will not put me in a situation where I'm going to get a sentence, and no, I would never ever dare to take a plea, then you will do the, opposite of actually defending me and put me in situations to evaluate me and label me after putting me in meetings to answer questions that I've already answered more than once and was deemed necessary to stand, fit to stand a trial, now unfit to stand a trial in the matter. Like, that doesn't make sense to me at all. So basically, she said, I tried to reach out and really like to discuss the matter with you over the phone. Well, at that time, I was on TikTok about the officer, arresting me and deleting it. And, the CPS case has nothing to do with it, but it's like, so at that point, you call me while I'm on live and speaking about the situation to say that you are so concerned about talking to me about it in person. This lady is not, have never been really concerned about meeting or talking to me in person at all. Most of the meetings and stuff I've set up. Most of the calls, most of the emails are being me initiating them, not her. Um, but just, can you please let me know when you're available? So I called her back. I left her a message. Um, and I told her, oh, I left her a message. I pretty much told her, that I got her email. And that I didn't see a need to be reevaluated, or, why are you trying to deem me or label me as unfit? And, those questions, those answers were not being answered. At this point, we can see the matter for jury trial. We cannot see the matter for jury trial until you have been restored to fitness. Failure to do what the judge instructs us would end up with you going into custody. So pretty much just to, take me to jail if I don't go to the meetings or, go and talk to a psychologist. So, I've never taken medicine, never been hit in my head, obviously, people don't know everything you learn and you experience as you go, things that you've learned in the past, if you're not using them every day, if you're not performing them on a daily basis, if you're not restudying them, like your brain, obviously it's not a computer. It don't just, store everything. You actually have to be repetitively and actively engaged in things, or have a lot of exposure to it, in order for it to stick with you, or it has to be something that's part of your survival, or something that's helping you or benefiting your life, that actually the brain tends to trigger and remember these things more so than, you're not going to remember every day, every second of your life. That's impossible for any human. But what I do know that I'm not, what I'm saying, like mentally impaired. I'm not, like cognitively have issues or problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to speak for myself. I'm able to fill applications. I'm able to talk, eat, feed myself, transportation, all of that. So it's like, why would you try to deem me as unfit? And because I pretty much told her, like, why I should just plead the fifth. Like, why should I have anything else to say to you other than I'm innocent and I want a jury trial? That's it. What else is there to say to you? I don't feel the need for you to keep telling me that I'm unfit, for you to keep trying to send me to be evaluated by a psychologist. Why are you not talking about my evidence? Why are you not stating this stuff? Why are we not discussing this? Why is this being, unimportant to the situation when it is the entire situation? So if you can show me video of me sitting in a police car, and the fire truck and the ambulance rolling off and all the police standing out there, then you can show video of when all the police first pulled up. It's 4 police cars. All of them have cameras. You're supposed to have cameras on you. So where's all those videos? Where's the video of the man telling me that those are his handcuffs on me? Where's the police threatening me, telling me, whispering to me, I'm going to go down for battery and assault? So where's the medics walking over to the police car, barely giving me any type of medical treatment. So if you have video of me sitting there, then you have video of all of that. And why is that thing's not being released? Because of course that's going to show that I'm innocent and that I was put in a situation where you abuse your authority, where you took your authority out of hand. And it's probably not the first time you've done it. It probably won't, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it'll be the last because I'm the person that I'm not going to give into it. I'm not going to be stupid enough to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, it's you being biased. You have a whole system and all of y'all work together. All of y'all work in the same courthouse and you get to decide whether I as a person who's going through this trial is fit or unfit to stand in the trial. So that's bias in itself because if it harms your, you know what I'm saying, your job, if it harms your, if it seems you seen as not following the policies and the rules and the regulations that your job uphold, and you're a whole sergeant, you've been doing this for over 20 years, you have no excuse of how you should go about your job or how you should, or even just taking my personal phone and deleting a video out of it is way over your rankings. These are things that you should not do. So um, in that case, if you did that, then at what point would you try to allow me to be fit to stand a trial so that these things can be exposed, and then this hurts you in the point of your job or how you work or whatever you're doing, and like none of that is my intentions. You know what I'm saying? I understand. My auntie is a retired dialysis from the VA. My sister is about to retire in registered nursing. I understand the government salary benefits, the benefits of your kids, and it triggers down retirement, all of that. That's something I am not trying to hurt anyone from being able to accomplish or harm them. But in the process, you're hurting me. In the process, you're hindering me. You're stopping me from being able to pursue the career I'm choosing to pursue or apply to a real job at all, period, a real job. Like, oh, I go into a temp agency or factory where they're very biased, where you're not probably going to make enough money to even pay all of your bills, to be doing the same thing over and over and over and making no progress. It's not the environment that I choose or want to go towards. It's just not. It's not something I, saw or was exposed to. It's just working, like a different job every week, every 2 months, every other day, like, oh, working two jobs. If I, and again, let me take that back. I saw my mom do that 16 hours, 12 hours since she had to have two hip surgeries because she worked so damn much, picking people up, giving them medicines, and all of these things, cleaning up and cooking. That's what CNA do. Go inside a person home. They're older. They're about to die. They're about to go. That's pretty much what it is. And their kids or whoever, their Medicaid pays for someone to come into their household and be, you know, um, supportive towards them, in their last days. And so I saw my mom do that many years, and watched her, literally take people to their deathbed. I actually remember two women personally that she did because we would go over to their house and be at their house when we got out of school and stuff. So like, for me to like put myself in a situation where, that's the lifestyle, that's not, I wouldn't have went to school for 5 years and got a degree if I didn't want to use my degree to, get a career, get a salary, be able to benefit myself from it, in order to, show my son something different, show my son that you don't have to have like, you can have a hustle mentality, but you can hustle towards, something that society accepts, that society is okay with. And that the society won't come back and try to harm or hurt you because you're doing it. And, use it against you. Like that's what they do. My brother, 3 years, I have three brothers, and I saw them in and out of the jail, in and out of the system, being harmed by it. And hand size, not, it's hard for them to do it. But I can't say that these are not issues that. Do I have someone on my line? Hey, say something. But like I said, just saw them, in the streets, living day to day, making money the best way they can do. Um, what we will, call a street hustle or whatever you want to call it. And that's what they did, you know what I'm saying? And my brother saw how well education opened the door for my sister and what it offered her. She was able to buy a home. And buy cars, cash, by just having the salary and the benefits needed, like literally cash. She has a Camaro, they have a crossover, they have a Ford F-150 in cash. Got married to a man that works in the VA too, but she had been working there for over like 10 years before she ever met this guy. She worked as an LPN first when he got her 2-year degree, and then as she was working as an LPN, she continued to get her bachelor's as a registered nurse. And then she went on to get her master's. I think probably a couple of years ago, she just graduated with her master's in nursing because she said, well, I'm about to retire. So why not go and teach it at a college or something like that so that I can help people that, like she has a lot of hands-on experience. Even though you get like educated books and stuff like that, just like a teacher, I can get a bachelor's in education, master's in education, but until you actually go into the classroom and experience the kids, experience parent teacher conference and calls and lesson plans and all that. It's a certain it's a different aspect, outside of just understanding book sense. It's performing, or the exposure or the experience hands on. And so that's what she wants to go back and give future nursing students because of the 20 years of experience. She can literally talk about different situations and different things that she actually went through as a nurse that could hopefully help future nurses that's coming into the field. And so that's what she just wanted to do. And it's just like, so the type of environment I've been around, both sides of both sides, where people are choosing to, live off the government with salary benefits or live off the government with Section 8 HUD and food stamps. Like, you get, I was exposed to both sides of that life, of what we see or what we're exposed to, and maybe some people are exposed to just one and don't experience the other, exposed to the other and don't have no clue about what some other people are going through. But both of these things were exposed to me, and I chose not. I could have got out of college and went and applied for Section 8 hood, and got some little low income place and, got some little random job, to just, pay my bills. But I went to college and worked, for a track and field scholarship to pay for all of my school in order to get a degree. But honestly, I wanted to go into medical school. I was going to take my MCAT and go to medical school and be an OB or a gynecologist or obstetricianist. But I just saw how much more schooling and how much more cost effective it was, and how much it wouldn't have benefited me because I didn't want to pursue that career. Once I got through half of the major, I kind of realized that. So once, being on a scholarship, it's hard to just change your major in the middle of a scholarship because it's money that they're deciding to pay for you to go to school. So at that point, it was finish it or not. So I finished it. But obviously, it benefited me because I was able to use the bachelor's degree to guest teach. You can't be a guest teacher in our school district. There are some school districts in the United States that only allow you to have a high school diploma to be a guest teacher in their school district. But in our school district, they require you to have a bachelor's degree. They require you to have an accredited bachelor's degree, just means it can't be from just any random online university. They're really taking that into consideration. So it obviously helped me, but doesn't give me the benefits or salary that the job actually offers because I am not certified in that particular field. But I'm, qualified enough to actually be able to teach to a certain level. I'll say maybe eighth grade, ninth, 10th, 11th grade. I feel like can be a little more challenging when it comes to the type of English, the type of history, and the type of math and stuff that they're learning. Not saying that I can't do it, or you know what I'm saying, but I just feel like you probably need a lot more training um, and a lot more experience when you get into those types of fields and different things. So that's pretty much where I'm at this point. Like, I'm not gonna let you know the issue, affect me too much. It's stressful, but affect me too much mentally. I'm not gonna just do anything different than what I'm already doing. I'm gonna continue to work for my masters. I'm gonna go to the gym. Sectionals was yesterday for my guy. He's a freshman, so he didn't make it to state. Um, he threw a little bit over 100 in discus, which is pretty decent, and I think like 31 in shot put, which has work to do. But based on from the beginning of his shot put, because he's never thrown shot put, and the progress that he's made has been tremendous. So I very I was telling him just like proud of him. He like walked over and like cried, and I didn't even know he had cried. He's like, oh man, like I was kind of really mad at myself because this was his primary event, and he kind of just called totally just didn't have really good releases. So it's just one of those things. One of those sports is very technical. It's not really, it's power and speed too, but it's technical first. And if you are not, constantly practicing the positionings and your feet and how your body should be, then when you get into the ring and you get around, hundreds of people and they're watching you perform, it's kind of hard to reciprocate the same type of performance that you would if you ran practice and you were alone. You know what I'm saying? The energy is different. I'm more motivator, like let's go, let's do it. And though you get around people who you're performing and they're obviously trying to lower your energy, give you bad vibes, lower your confidence, make you feel like you're not, ready for to perform. And so I feel like that is what got to him more so than anything. But I feel like this just comes with time. Same thing when I was in college, competing, with these big universities, like big track and field universities. And you pretty much you get the experience as you go. The nerves fall off little by little. And I think that may be a part of why I may be so or walk around or have the confidence that I have because I have performed at very big, like huge meets, NCAAs in Oregon, which they're doing right now. I've been there. Penn Relays, which is like the, you know, football lead of track and field. They have it every year. Crazy. I mean, Jamaica, come from Jamaica and light that place up because it's almost like Jamaica against USA. When it comes to running, Usain Bolt and I forgot some of the USA 100-meter runners, but we had one Bianca Knight who came out of Mississippi. I remember her when we were in college, and I actually got to see all of these people like run, in person, like not like on TV, but like looking right there, them on the track, competing. And these people have Nike, endorsements and different things that pay for them to live, literally. And that's just how, it works. If you make it to the Olympics or you make it, they literally give you endorsements where they'll give you $100,000 for a year and say, here, we'll break it down to these many checks and we'll get this every month. And we'll make sure every time it's time for you to travel and go and compete, we take care of that. I have a friend who actually ran for ASICs and he was able to take advantage of those situations. So, me coming out of college, um, I guess it was kind of still on my mind to kind of pursue it because I had gotten so close and didn't even think I wasn't looking for that as a goal. I was trying to accomplish it in order to pay for my college, not to, a lot of football players came there with the attitude that I'm an athlete before I'm a student. And I didn't have that mentality. I'm just like, this bachelor's degree is going to get me, not, you know, playing in NFL or, going to the Olympics. Like, I wasn't exposed as much as I feel like I should have been, or if I was have been, how much more of a desire I probably would have wanted to push. But then once I got there, dang, like this is something I actually can accomplish. Like, why not? But just not having that support around. Like, my ex-husband did not want to see me there. Like, literally, he just wanted to see me married in his house, having his kids, and not like, even when I came up here, I think I retrained, got my body back in shape, and I actually started throwing. I had went to an open meet at national, not national, it was Lewis University, right in Bolingbrook, just to try to get my feet wet back again and just open up the door. And I just didn't have the support up up here as I had down there, and so it kind of just like I mentally wiped out. But for me to be able to go back and coach it, is just as I guess satisfying to me, to know that I can take the experiences and the things that I've learned, and be able to um, maybe open the door or allow another, human being. I don't care the culture, I don't care the race, but the opportunity that maybe they didn't think they could have or had or have, in order to pursue something that maybe their parents did. And I was even telling my athlete that there is one of my ex-husband's best friends who's from here. Both parents both worked in warehouses and factories, and worked for him to go to college, send him to a private school called Benedictine, where they literally, and I'm pretty sure we're very aware that Chicago public schools, probably suburban schools get better education than Chicago public schools. We're very aware that private schools get better education than suburban public schools, and so forth. The taxes and how it's bracketed, and the money that's put in certain areas, and even money that's taken out of some poor areas just to put in rich areas. Articles and all types of stuff about that, which is sad. But they feel like these kids may be more prominent to and that's not the case, because I came from a single parent household. I came from Mississippi, which under the lowest poverty rate. I am the total blasphemy of that lie, because I obviously proved it all wrong. I came from a single parent household, a minority, living in the high statistic rate for pregnancy, for obesity, for poverty, for all of it. Look up Mississippi, it's the poorest state in the United States. And I lived on the west side of Jackson, right in the hood. My mom moved us to the south side to try to get us better education. And I took advantage of that. So if you take advantage of the education, it's education now. It's no different. You know what I'm saying? The curriculum is the curriculum. And if you take advantage of it, it can open the door. Like full scholarships to school academically. You come out of college, out of high school, and you got a 4.0 GPA, and you take your ACT or your SAT, and you make up to a 30 on it. ACT, I don't know about SAT is more of ACT, but down south now they're just making it all one. I think they're eliminating ACT and just making it all SAT, but it's graded different. It's graded on like 100 to 600, 700 scale. I don't know how it works. But anyway, you make the highest score on it, and guess what? Colleges are seeking you to come to their school. Why? Because you are considered smart, and academically they're getting more grant money. If they push, people who have had higher ACTs and higher GPAs in their schools, they're going to get more grant money. So they're pushing you to come to school. They're sending you letters telling you, to be a part of their community. And so that is the experience or exposure I feel like my ex-husband's friend got. And he went to Benedictine up here, which is a private school. And when he got to Mississippi State, just the preparation, how much more even though I took all AP classes, AP history, which are classes and courses that you can take in high school that will give you college credits. In my school, you could just see how much more well prepared he was for college than I was, how much more my ex-husband was more well prepared for college when it came to writing and different things like that than I was, even though I was at the top of my high school class. But it's just saying the exposure and the experience that you're getting. That's why my mom took us out of the west side of Jackson and put us on, because she knew that the education was better in the area. You know what I'm saying? So you get, and that's, knowing that the education, even in the school district that I'm working in now, and it's public school, but it's a suburban public school, and because of the tax money that are coming from a lot of these warehouses and factories, are able to be put into these schools, right? They're able to get more materials, better teachers, all of that, in order to give them a better opportunity, learn the material better, expose to more things. And you still have a lot of people, in the poorer sides of the city that don't walk around with computers every day, don't have access to Wi-Fi, can't have access to education. You know what I'm saying? So that obviously separates you and limits you to how much opportunity you have when you graduate from high school. Anyway, he comes to Mississippi State, double majors. Who comes and literally double majors? Not one. I struggled with one major. He double majored in political science and business, 4.0 GPA. I'm talking about when I say this private school had him way more prepared for college than we ever thought that you could be prepared. Came right back to Chicago, works for the Chicago Administration Public Schools right now. Started working for 4 years, hiring people. He worked for just, I guess, to build a resume and different things like that for a company, and then went over and started working for Chicago, had his own condo, BMW, everything right down in the city. Living a life of what education should allow you to have. And there's, so many other, obviously technology is booming right now and pushing, us towards quicker ways or faster ways to make income with quicker hustles and stuff. Even though like people on here and they're doing that stuff in a minute and showing it in 5 minutes, I don't think, mentally our future generation is realizing that stuff still takes work, but they're showing it to you in 5 minutes doesn't mean you gonna sit down and do that in 5 minutes. It probably took them 3 or 4 years, but now they actually got it, and now they're going to expose it to you. Like, oh, well, if it doesn't take 5 minutes, then I'm not doing it because it's not fast enough. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's why people really just run to these vocational and skill work jobs because it's easy. It's super easy. It doesn't take a lot of mental. It doesn't take a lot of work ethic. It doesn't take, you know what I'm saying? It's like me, if I'm not going towards something that's going to make me happy, doing my work, is my mom told me, if you're working and you're happy, you're not really working. You're working towards a purpose. Money is not the priority. Never been in love with money. Never wanted to be in love with money. I'm a survivor. Survivor. My necessities. As long as I got food, clothes, a shelter over my head, and transportation. Ask my ex-husband. When I came up here for the first 2 years, I walked every goddamn where I needed to walk because he had a car with me. Driving a car that I literally saw him through everywhere. That's why I know bowling was like the back of my hand. Literally, I know like the back of my hand. Every park, every school, all of it. Literally, like the back of my hand. I can just picture it right now. I know, how to get these. I used to ride my bikes with my son. They had a little seat when my son's sitting on his bike, and we would just ride around the little seat that sits in the front. And in his stroller, I used to jog around, take him to Foundera Library, follow the bookmobile around to all the different events that they had, the basketball things, where they brought animals out, park reading with the park. So you walk around a trail, and the park is reading you a book as they're walking around the trail. All these little things we did within the 2.5, 3 years. And I even brought my daughter, my brother, my son's sister, along with us on these events. Because, I didn't feel like she should be treated any differently because she was, quote unquote, my stepchild. No, you're my son's sister. That you're my ex-husband's child. And anything that I do for you, I do for you. Anything I do for him, I do for you too. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my mentality. No child should be blamed or punished for the mistakes or the immaturity of an adult. Why? If you put that emotional issues, on a child. So, those are the things that I did. She went with us, riding bikes and all types of stuff that we did. So it's like, why would I put myself in a situation where I'm harming my child, neglecting my child, trying to hurt him for any reason? Not at all. So I'll be going in the next hour um, to court. I guess the judge gets to label me as unfit and something about um, what they call outpatient services, and that's me having another interview. So pretty much you will put me through mental, you know, demo report to make it look like I'm mentally um, repaired or, not, able to meet a trial instead of actually presenting the evidence and stuff that's going on. Because you know that obviously is going probably to harm the department or whatever the situation may be. And it's like that wasn't my intention. I'm calling the police because this person was harassing me, abusing me, physically abusing me. I'm missing a teeth out of my mouth, literally ran into my face by a football player twice and displaced my team. Literally. And it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was I supposed to do? It's like I'm looking on Facebook and I'm reading like these domestic violence, like I'm a part of a group. And it's like these women, they're going through it every day. They're going through it every day. And they're scared to call the police. They're scared to get help. They're scared to reach out to someone. Why? They know there's no one supporting these issues. There's no one out here helping people that are being preyed on by these this government, this system and how it works. How is that possible for all the people you're supposed to be defending? I don't feel defended at all. I feel like you're just taking everything I'm saying, talking to the state attorney about it, and pretty much find a way to make sure that the state doesn't get in any trouble for the way they abuse me and my civil rights and what it is my limits. And I'm a U.S. citizen. It's my constitution too. It's my limits, they're my rights, right? But it don't apply to me if it hurts you. I'm crazy, therefore it doesn't apply. You find a way to label me or categorize me so that my rights and my limits don't apply to me, in which they should if I'm going through a matter like this. So every day I'll be going on YouTube, Facebook Live, or TikTok Live, and talking about my story. Like I said, July 3rd, I went to the mayor's office. I reached out to both of the representatives for this district. It's kind of split because we live really close to Douglasboro. So I reached out to both of them. I also reached out to the Senate, who I was told had no way of helping me, but at the same time, he's the person who makes the laws. So that's a sad situation. It's just realizing how really, I feel like my brother just self-experienced it, and I sat there, but to actually go through it um, and be um, taken advantage of and um, causing emotional stress, mental, that shouldn't um, be the case. It's just very, very overwhelming. Um, and just plays an effect, just how, you think about life. And it's like at this point, it's like, I used to stress about like income and planning and budgeting and, how I'm gonna make sure my bills are paid and, taking care of everything and making sure things on time. And I feel like at this point, God is always like reminding me. It's just like, forget this world and whatever it has to offer. And I'm gonna miss your movies. That's how I feel at this point. Like I'm not gonna go do something I don't love to do. I'm not gonna do something that's not purposeful to me. That's not bringing me peace. That's not bringing me prosperity. That's not bringing me profit. That's not bringing me joy in my life. In order to get a piece of paper that a president's name on it, and you say I have to work for it to make a living. To be able to keep a roof over my head, to be able to keep transportation, to be able to keep food, to go and get my hair done and all these other wants. Those are wants to me, the clothes, the shoes, the lashes, the nails, the excursions, the trips and all that. To be able to do those things, um, pretty much um, are wants, and I feel like God is just showing me like those things are not important. You know what I'm saying? Like I will meet your needs. Stop worrying about things that you have no control over. And you don't know that I am God and I'm there and I'm going to take care of you. And stop stressing about it. Don't let it be a worry. Don't let it be a concern of your day. If it's something you take care of, take care of it. You can't, you can't. It's outside of your control. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like it's kind of giving me a sense of calmness concerning that matter, being in this situation, knowing that my hands are tied, knowing that it's hard for me to find work and find a job, or even if I go out to find work to do something that's unpurposeful or non-progressive towards my life, it's pointless to me. So it's like go overwork myself for 10, 20 years, end up like my mom, with hip surgery after hip surgery, and still not, you know what I'm saying, accomplishing a quote unquote American dream lifestyle. Whatever, it ain't even about that. It's about me investing in having land, you know, and being able to get that cash flow and have something I can leave for like my future children, something that I can have to invest in them when they get older. I can use that for school, for them to go to school, or for them to take a trade if they want to take a trade, or help them if they want to be passionate about something that there's not a lot of money in at first, like art and music, acting, or whatever they choose to do in life, that I'll be in a position where I can support them in that. Whether they have the income or the circumstances are there, I can be that person. So it's like, why would I keep bringing people into this world if I can't be that person for them? And they're going to struggle just as much as I struggled coming out of college, trying to, get a degree, trying to make sure I had the money and the income to be able to pay for it. And, wondering if I'm going to just sit home if I don't, perform well, as an athlete and all of that type of stuff. Just, the stress or when they can just really focus on their passion and their purpose. And life is like, why would I do that? Um, and so that was my thing for my son too. It's just like seeing what he was passionate and purpose. Like, what did he wake up wanting to do or like to do? And that was swimming for him at this point. As being a 6-year-old, he loves the water. So that's what I was going to push him. I've been swimming with my family anyway. Cultural that Black people become professional swimmers. But guess what? We can change the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said we shouldn't culturalize abilities. Don't tell me that because of my minority, I'm only capable of being a vocational or a skilled worker, or because of my ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me that. You know, um, baseball changed the game. You see a lot of Hispanic Black baseball players. Okay, um, gymnastics changed the game. Okay, you see a lot of Black gymnasts. Okay, golf changed the game. Tennis, we changed the game. We keep on changing the game. Okay, because you don't tell us what we can accomplish and what we can't be, or what we're not cognitive capable of achieving. Like what? Who are you? Not God. You don't control me. You don't control this sky, this rain, this sun. So how the hell do you control on what my mind is capable or not capable of doing? Only way you can do that is make me feel like that I'm not mentally, right? So that you can mentally impair me or mentally depair me, not give me the impairment that I need in order to feel like I'm capable of accomplishing something. And I feel like it's been a lot of mental impairment in a lot of these generations coming up. Anytime you're 6 or 7th grade and you haven't figured out how to read yet, that's a mental impairment. That's something that can be taught. I don't care how much time needs to be put into it in order to get it accomplished. And that's something that people don't want to do. They don't want to put the time, they don't have the patience. to help a child, or, you know, allow them to make the mistakes they need to make to in order to be successful. Because okay, success comes through failure, through mistakes. You don't get things the first time. You never gonna be perfect at something, the first time you do it. So it's like, how do I do that if I don't have the time and patience enough to allow that child or that student or that person to be able to reach that, what we call proficient, or you've progressed, or you have met that, whatever concept, learning, ability, cognitive leadership, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, that comes with time and patience, that comes with exposure and experience. And you don't limit a child just because they're a certain age, tell them there is no hope for them, right? Because the comedian that's in California, Tiffany Haddish, when she learned how to read, she went through child, home after home after home, and these people are collecting checks for her, but not teaching her anything. She learned how to read when she was grown. So who took out the time? She took out time for herself, or somebody took out time for her and pushed her, and was actually one of the comedians. She went big, and now she has a show called They Ready, and she brought one of the comedians on, um, that she claimed to be ready, to be on the stage and, laugh, make people laugh. And he was actually one of the people who used to force her to read. And he's originally from Chicago. His parents are Nigerian, and he's a comedian who moved to Chicago. I can't think of his name, but he's an African guy. Claims Nigerian to they he. I mean, his parents are Nigerian, but he's originally grew up in the city and in Chicago. And he was one of those people, who took that time out, and then bam, her all her life not knowing how to read and became rich and famous and comedian. They pulled him out and got him a show on Netflix. And now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the things that you do, you purpose, and you read what you sow. You read what you sow, that's fine, right? So I don't know if I sowed the wrong intentions into, my son or whatever, sowed the wrong intentions into my ex-husband wanting to, be outside of the box and wanting to have a career as a woman, as a black woman, as a woman of color, as a minority woman. And it wasn't seen as, people haven't really caught up to that, and they demise it and don't want to see, let alone any woman in that position, let alone a woman, a minority woman of color, um, reach goals, like be um, successful or more successful than them. Um, but I mean, that's just what it is. It is. It's that thing of time. You just need to wake up in 2021 and realize that even the economy is not really allowing that, especially if you were to eventually buy a home or invest, or unless you just kind of live a sedentary and moderate lifestyle, just want to do the same thing over and over and over and over until you die, then that's fine, that's your life. But me, I want to progress and keep progressing. Every year that I'm on this earth, like, I'm gonna make more goals and more goals. Like, look, okay, invest in house, I'm gonna see what else I can invest in. Take this house and invest in another house. Go to another state, invest in another. Do some Airbnbs. Like, why stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, why, settle for less? Why, why are you on this earth for if you're not here accomplishing something, giving something purposeful to someone else? Actually, right? We're here to help each other, not to harm each other. So, and that's what I literally tried to for my ex. Literally for the applications, found a job, changed my schedule, didn't have a car, I took him to work, got him a phone, bank account, all that, just so that he can feel or, know what, society, because we gotta keep up. It's forever changing. Technology is forever pushing further applications online. When you spend a fill out application, just walk into the place and say, "Here's the application, can I have an interview?" No, none of that. So it's just like keeping up with it, and people just walk around with, some people don't trust the bank, people maybe dealers and stuff like that, whatever. But, maybe walk around with lies and stuff like that, but bank accounts is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a car, it's insured. If someone wants to steal it or take it or use it, you can call the bank and say, look, someone stole my car, stole my money, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you walking around with your whole paycheck, not knowing if someone's gonna just take it or, take advantage of you or watch you or know what you're doing. Like you keep it with with the times for a reason. And so I tried that and it definitely backlash from me. Because I feel like a lot of things that's support to another person that I wouldn't get that support back from things that I want to produce. And so I feel like that's gonna be hard for me to even like trust to be with any person. At this point, that's the I'm gonna have to I don't know stumble over because I do eventually want a family, want to be married. Like I did love that I was married in college, so that I was 21. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I wanted to do. But I wanted to be able to work beside, not work for, work beside, the person that I'm in a relationship with. We both need money to the table. Not me being zero, depending on for everything or everything that I need in one life. That definitely is not what my mentality is. So, I'm type of lifestyle that I'm just trying to live. Bring a woman into this world. That's not the lifestyle that I'm going to teach them. That is okay. And I feel like, I'm saying, that's where you take advantage of you, manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything the type of respect that I'm going to want to give my daughter. She should be able to bring just because you can take it. You should be okay with that. You out there being gosh, you up there being gosh, exactly. Because you know what I'm saying? That's less stress, that's less responsibility, and you got to go out of there for even better life than what you know, on the offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got that. But that's just what that's my mentality. I always been my mentality. I didn't know anything, that I was going to take on it. And that's what the idea is. And then it's just the communication necessary in order to understand each other and understand you. Or you didn't want to accept. Which we can look for that communication. Given the best thing and you're really happy with the society. So going in that person from my desire to have desires to be able to put myself in good touch. I don't have to continue to work out for money every time I build something in life. Not build it all actually surprise you if you know where every damn thing is coming from. You know what I'm saying? And I'm that type of person. Like I'm gonna wake up on, your birthday and do little things for you and that type of stuff or anniversaries, celebrate whatever. Like that's the type of person I am. I want to see people happy. I want to see people progress in life. I want to see people accomplish. And that is what makes me happy. I don't vibe off seeing people fail. I don't vibe off seeing people feel insecure. I don't vibe off seeing people hurt or put in situations where they feel like they can't continue themselves. Like I don't walk around with the people trying to intimidate me. Like I'm doing that for fitness for the money I've been doing since I was 15. My coach would give us college workouts when we were in high school. So that we can be better than both. We better than basketball. So, like, but it's not an intimidation factor. It's just who I am. I can't change that. I'm not here to, I'm saying, grow other people are being me. And I'm not going to change who I am to make you feel comfortable with yourself. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes a lot of sense to me. But I just don't vibe on it. You know what I'm saying? I actually, I do love that. Negative energy just makes me even more want to accomplish whatever I set out to accomplish. That's it. For real. I literally, you know what I'm saying? Like that just pushes me even harder to go forward. Whatever you success that I could, whatever you whatever you just said. You know what I'm saying? I'm that person who look at the system and just say, okay. Because you know what I'm saying? Eventually, like I said, my brother, he watched him for 3 years. And he left me 7 years now. It was time to be over. Managed. But what? So I don't care if I'm 31 or 40. And it's okay, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's up to you. I'm going to now to now. Why? Because when I go and do another job that's not physical, not happy, that's possible to my life. It's very hectic for 5 to 10 years and then be in the same position I've been used to. Then I might as well do something. If that makes sense, I might as well do just fucking somebody. Because I'm around your company to get $1 million and you live in your gorgeous house and your beautiful car, you're able to, you know, put your kids through school and make sure they have health insurance and all this stuff that they need. I work for your company and give you 100, but I'm not getting that same reciprocal. Okay, then. God will take care of me and I'll survive. If it's not peaceful, prosperity, prosperity to my life, I'm not doing it. If it's not elevating me, I'm not doing it. And I'm thinking, I really need children. I've been inside street by some of these people in the sun. Okay? I live in my car. Materialistic things are not important to me. I know after moving 10 times before you pray that you can redo and redo a time and time again. It takes time. Now some of my make something out of nothing a whole lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it goes on out a whole lot of times. Okay, in furnished places, time and time again, a whole lot of times. And this materialistic stuff, baby, I'm good. I'm okay with it. It's probably the thing I feel about me. Okay, with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't even know. And I'm really have to get it right. Think about it. Trust me. It won't be anything long term. Like I'm not married my ex-husband in 6 months. And I was in the state. And I feel like he has been so never proposed to me and took me to Florida. And then I'm going to make this. On the way back, I found out he was totally back. Probably like this should have been the first one. This should have been the best one. So, my parents stayed right across from the graduation stage. Should be had to be. It was crazy. And then my son was born and stuff. Lived there for 1 week. And then it was so important for him to be able to live with the so I was like, okay, with the school. They're not thinking that people come up here and his whole mentality, the whole mentality. So that's why they go to this, at 1:30. It's supposed to be. So I'm really ready to get out, drive over there. And I think I'm gonna go on Facebook Live after and just after that, you know, I feel in the situation and what happened. I'm gonna go and file um, case until my UC person and then I'm going to go. I mean, after I go to the court, then I'm gonna go and file case. Looks like I have two people on here, but I can't. I'm not real technology savvy, so I can't really see. Hi, and thanks for listening. I'm start coming on um, every day. I probably listen at a time. But today it's Friday, so Saturday, Sunday on my head. So I'm back on YouTube live Monday. For anyone who know any person who's been through these situations, normally about to get their advice, opinions, facts, maybe more so. For prevalent, but yeah, just some assistance. Or opinions or experience, I would greatly appreciate it. I have a TikTok and also Facebook. Um, if you want to connect with me there, I have yet to start Instagram or Twitter. I think I will soon. And see can I reach out to some of the seniors and mayors in the area concerning the situation. Just tweet what I have to say, how I feel, and why I feel like I've been through this situation. So yeah, this is the end of my YouTube live, and I hope you have a good day.